I found the envelope while making coffee, tucked between the sugar bowl and the wall like a secret waiting to be discovered. My name wasn't on it, just elegant cursive that read, "For our family legacy." My name is Sophia, and I should have known right then that my mother-in-law had crossed a line I didn't even know existed. Inside were 3 names written in Tabitha's perfect penmanship: Thomas Edward Carter, William James Carter, Charles Henry Carter. All very proper. All very dead white men from the Carter family tree. None of them the name I'd chosen for the baby growing inside me. "What's that?" Colby asked, padding into the kitchen in his boxers and Harvard t-shirt. I held up the envelope. "Your mother left this. Baby names." He glanced at it and shrugged. "She's just excited. You know how she gets about family traditions." "I already picked a name? We can discuss it later." He kissed my forehead like I was a child who'd asked for ice cream for breakfast. "She wants to talk to you about the gender reveal party today." Right on cue, the doorbell rang. Tabitha never knocked. She had a key, of course, but she preferred the dramatic entrance of being let in, like she was doing us a favor by announcing herself. "I'll get it," Colby said, already walking away. I shoved the envelope into my robe pocket and tried to arrange my face into something resembling pleasant. 6 months of marriage had taught me that Tabitha could smell resistance from 3 rooms away. "Sophia, darling." Her voice carried that particular tone wealthy women use when they're about to ask for something they have no intention of taking no for an answer to. "You look tired. Are you getting enough rest?" She swept into my kitchen like she owned it. Which, technically, she did. The house was a wedding gift from her, and she never let me forget it. "I'm fine, Tabitha. Just the usual pregnancy stuff." She set her Hermes bag on my counter and pulled out a thick folder. "I've been thinking about the gender reveal party. We haven't decided if we want one yet." "Oh, but you must. It's such a lovely tradition. And I have the most wonderful ideas." She opened the folder, revealing pages of Pinterest printouts and vendor contacts. "I've already spoken to the caterer from the country club. They can do it next Saturday." "Next Saturday?" I looked at Colby, who was suddenly very interested in his phone. "That's really soon." "The sooner the better, don't you think? Before you get too uncomfortable." Her smile was sharp as a blade. "I've taken the liberty of handling all the arrangements. Consider it my gift to you." There was that word again. Gift. Like she was bestowing some great honor instead of steamrolling over every boundary I'd tried to set. "I appreciate the thought, but the invitations are already sent." She pulled out a cream-colored card with gold embossing. "Aren't they lovely? I used the Carter family crest." I stared at the invitation. My name was listed as Sophia Carter in small print at the bottom, like an afterthought. Like I was just the vessel carrying the real star of the show. "Tabitha, I really think we should discuss this first." "There's nothing to discuss. Everything is handled. The photographer, the decorations, even the cake. Pink and blue, naturally, until we know which it is." She leaned forward conspiratorially. "I have a feeling it's a boy. Carter men always produce sons first." Colby finally looked up from his phone. "That sounds great, Mom. Sophia, isn't that nice of her?" I felt the envelope in my pocket like a weight. "Very nice. Wonderful. Oh, and Sophia?" Tabitha's voice dropped to that dangerous sweetness again. "I do hope you'll let me handle the announcement. I have such a lovely speech prepared about continuing the Carter legacy." "The announcement?" "Of the gender, darling. And perhaps we could discuss the name then, too. I have some beautiful suggestions." My hand moved instinctively to my belly. "I think the parents should announce their own baby's gender." "Oh, but I'm so much better at public speaking. You get so nervous." She patted my hand like I was a skittish horse. "Trust me, dear. I know what's best for our family." Our family. Not my family. Not my baby. Our family, where she was the matriarch and I was just the incubator. "I'll think about it," I said. "Of course you will." She stood, smoothing her skirt. "I'll see you both Saturday. 2 o'clock sharp. And Sophia, Do try to wear something flattering. The photos will be in the family album forever. After she left, I stood in my kitchen holding that envelope, feeling something shift inside me like tectonic plates moving. Colby was already back to scrolling through his phone. She means well, he said without looking up. I thought about those 3 names. Thomas, William, Charles. All dead men who would live on through my son while I became just another forgotten Carter wife. I'm sure she does, I said. But I was done meaning well. The party looked like a Carter family museum exhibit. Every napkin, every balloon, every fucking cupcake had their family crest stamped on it like a brand. I stood in the corner of the country club's main hall, watching Tabitha hold court near the gift table. She wore cream silk and pearls, accepting congratulations like she was the one carrying the baby. This is beautiful, Tabitha, gushed Mrs. Henderson from the tennis club. You've outdone yourself. Well, it's important to do these things properly. This baby will be the next generation of Carters after all. Luna appeared at my elbow with 2 glasses of sparkling cider. Jesus Christ, Sophia! She's got the family coat of arms on the fucking napkins. Language, I said automatically, then caught myself. Actually, no. Fuck the language. Look at this. I pulled out one of the favor boxes from the table, embossed in gold. Thomas Edward Carter, Future Legacy. Luna's eyes went wide. She already had these made? Apparently she's psychic, knows it's a boy, and knows his name. Where's Colby? I nodded toward the bar where my husband was laughing with his college buddies. Getting drunk and avoiding me, standard operating procedure. Ladies and gentlemen, Tabitha's voice cut through the chatter. She stood at the front of the room, microphone in hand. If I could have your attention. My stomach dropped. The announcement wasn't supposed to happen for another hour. I wasn't even standing with Colby. Thank you all for being here to celebrate this momentous occasion. The Carter family is about to welcome its newest member, and I couldn't be more thrilled. She paused for applause. I noticed she said, Carter family, not our family, or Sophia and Colby's family. Now, I know you're all dying to know whether we're having a little prince or princess. She laughed at her own joke, and I'm delighted to share that news with you. I started moving toward the front, but the crowd was thick. People were pulling out their phones, recording. It's a boy, Tabitha announced, holding up a blue balloon. A beautiful baby boy who will carry on the Carter name with pride. The room erupted in cheers. Someone popped a confetti cannon. Blue streamers fell like snow. And, Tabitha continued, her voice rising above the noise, we've chosen the perfect name for him. Thomas Edward Carter, after my late husband. A name with history, with dignity, with legacy. I finally broke through the crowd. Colby was clapping, beaming like an idiot. He caught my eye and gave me a thumbs up. Isn't that wonderful? Tabitha was saying. Thomas Edward Carter. Doesn't that sound distinguished? I walked straight to the front of the room. Tabitha saw me coming and her smile faltered for just a second. And here's the mother of our little Thomas, she said, trying to recover. Sophia, come say hello to everyone. I took the microphone from her hand. The room went quiet. Hi, everyone. Thank you for being here. My voice was steady, calm. I need to make a small correction. Tabitha's face went pale. Sophia, dear, perhaps we should... Actually, I've made a different decision about the name. I looked out at the crowd of faces. Some confused, some curious, some already sensing drama. This baby will be named Julian Ezra Weber. The silence was deafening. Weber is my maiden name, I continued, and Julian Ezra are names that actually mean something to me, not just recycled dead guys from a family tree. Someone in the back gasped. I could see phones being raised, recording. Sophia, Colby was suddenly beside me, his hand on my arm. What are you doing? I shrugged him off. I'm being a mother, something I should have started doing months ago. This is highly inappropriate, Tabitha hissed, reaching for the microphone. I stepped back, keeping it out of her reach. You know what's inappropriate? Planning someone else's baby shower without asking. Choosing someone else's baby's name without permission. Treating the actual mother like she's just the hired help. The room was dead silent now. Even the catering staff had stopped moving. I want to thank Tabitha for this lovely party, I said, my voice carrying to every corner of the room. It's been very educational. I've learned exactly what kind of family I married into. I set the microphone down on the nearest table. The feedback screeched through the speakers. Sophia, stop this right now. Colby grabbed my wrist. You're embarrassing us. No, Colby. I'm embarrassing you. There's a difference. I walked toward the exit, my heels clicking on the marble floor. Behind me, I could hear Tabitha's voice, shrill and desperate, trying to salvage the situation. Well, I'm sure Sophia is just having a moment. Pregnancy hormones, you know how it is. I pushed through the double doors and stepped into the parking lot. The spring air hit my face like freedom. Luna was waiting by her car, engine running. How did you... I've been watching you for months, Sophia. I knew this day would come. She popped the trunk. Your bags are already packed. I stared at her. What? Get in the car. We're leaving. Behind us, the country club doors burst open. Colby stumbled out, his face red with anger and alcohol. Sophia, get back here. We need to fix this. I looked at my husband, then at my sister, then back at the building where Tabitha was probably still trying to convince everyone that nothing had happened. Drive, I said, getting in the passenger seat. Luna peeled out of the parking lot, leaving Colby standing in the dust. Luna's apartment was across town, but it felt like another planet. No marble countertops, no family crests, no suffocating beige everything. Just mismatched furniture and plants that actually looked happy. How long have you been planning this? I asked, watching her pull suitcases from her closet. Since your wedding day, you looked like you were walking to your execution. She tossed a duffel bag on the bed. I've been waiting for you to wake up. My phone buzzed. Colby's name flashed on the screen for the 15th time in 20 minutes. Answer it, Luna said. Get it over with. I swiped to accept. What? What the hell was that? His voice was slurred, angry. You humiliated my mother in front of everyone. Good. Good? Sophia, these are important people. The Hendersons, the Whitfields, half the country club board was there. I don't care about your mother's friends. Well, you should. We live in this community. We have to face these people. We don't live anywhere together anymore, Colby. Silence. Then, what's that supposed to mean? It means I'm done. With the house, with your mother, with pretending to be someone I'm not. You can't just leave. You're carrying my son. My son. And I can do whatever I want. Sophia, be reasonable. Come home. We'll talk about this. There's nothing to talk about. You chose your side a long time ago. I hung up and turned off the phone. Luna was watching me from the doorway. How do you feel? Terrified, relieved, like I might throw up. That's normal. You just blew up your entire life. Thanks for the pep talk. She sat on the bed next to me. I'm proud of you. That took guts. Did it? Or was I just having a breakdown in public? Both. The best revenge usually is. My phone buzzed again. I'd turned it off, but apparently not fast enough. A voicemail notification. Don't, Luna said. I played it anyway. Sophia, this is ridiculous. Colby's voice was different now. Colder. You can't just run away because you had a fight with my mother. We're married. We have responsibilities. If you think you can just take my son and disappear, you're wrong. My mother has lawyers. Good ones. We'll get custody and you'll get nothing. Come home. The message ended. I stared at the phone. He just threatened me. Yep, and now we have it recorded. Luna pulled out her laptop. Time for phase 2. There's a phase 2? Sophia, I'm a paralegal. Did you think I'd let you walk into this unprepared? She opened a folder on her desktop labeled Operation Fuck Tabitha. I've been documenting everything for months. You've been what? Every text where Colby dismissed your feelings, every time Tabitha corrected you in public, every decision they made about your pregnancy without asking you. She scrolled through screenshots. It's all here. I stared at the screen. Months of evidence I didn't even know she was collecting. Luna, this is thorough. Yeah, I know. I also took the liberty of removing your name from the house deed last month. How did you? You signed the papers. Remember when I said they were for your life insurance beneficiary? I lied. She pulled out a manila envelope. Your half of the joint accounts has been transferred to a new account. In your name only. Is that legal? Completely. You're married, not owned. And I found you an apartment. It's small, but it's yours. My head was spinning. When did you do all this? I've been working on it since Christmas. Remember when Tabitha gave you that book about proper child rearing and said you should read it before you attempt motherhood? I remembered. She'd handed it to me in front of the whole family, like I was a teenager who'd gotten knocked up. That's when I knew this was going to get ugly. So I started preparing. You've been planning my escape for months and didn't tell me. Would you have listened? You were still trying to make it work. She was right. I would have made excuses, tried harder, bent myself into smaller shapes to fit their expectations. There's more. Luna pulled out another folder. I've been in touch with a lawyer, Terrence McBride. He specializes in family law and emotional abuse cases. Emotional abuse? Sophia, they've been gaslighting you for months, making you think you're crazy for having normal reactions to their controlling behavior. That's textbook emotional abuse. My phone rang, Tabitha's name this time. Don't answer it, Luna said. I let it go to voicemail. Then another call, then another. They're panicking, Luna said with satisfaction. Good, let them panic. What if they really do try to take the baby? They won't, not with what we have on them, and definitely not after today's performance. What do you mean? Luna grinned and pulled up Facebook on her phone. Someone live-streamed your little speech. It's already been shared 200 times. I watched myself on the tiny screen, taking the microphone from Tabitha, announcing my son's real name. The comments were brutal. Oh my God. It gets better. Someone posted it in the Mothers Against Toxic In-Laws group. It's going viral. Luna, what have we done? We've given you your life back. The question is, what are you going to do with it? I looked around the apartment, at the evidence folders, at my sister who'd been planning my freedom while I was still trying to be the perfect Carter wife. I'm going to be a mother, a real one, not whatever Tabitha had planned for me. Good. Because this is just the beginning. Terrence McBride's office smelled like leather and coffee. He was younger than I expected, maybe mid-30s, with kind eyes and the kind of calm energy that made you want to spill your secrets. Luna's told me some of what's been happening, he said, settling behind his desk. But I need to hear it from you. I pulled out my phone and scrolled to the voicemails. This is from yesterday. Colby's voice filled the room. You can't just take my son and disappear. My mother has lawyers. Good ones. We'll get custody and you'll get nothing. Terrence raised an eyebrow. He said this after you left the party? 20 minutes after. There are 6 more like it. Play them. Each message got progressively nastier. Colby calling me unstable, threatening to have me declared an unfit mother, promising I'd never see his son again. This is good, Terrence said, making notes. Threatening behavior, attempts at intimidation. What else do you have? Luna opened her laptop. Screenshots of text conversations, audio recordings from family dinners, video from last Christmas. Video. I recorded Tabitha telling Sophia she was too emotional to make decisions about her own pregnancy, then Colby agreeing with her. Terrence watched the clip. On screen, I was crying while Tabitha explained to the room why I couldn't be trusted to choose my own doctor. She's always been sensitive, Colby was saying. Mom's just trying to help. Jesus, Terrence muttered. How long has this been going on? Since the engagement, I said, but it got worse when I got pregnant. Tell me about the name situation. I explained about the envelope, the pre-made favors, the public announcement. She had merchandise made with a name you never agreed to. Napkins, favor boxes, even a banner, all with Thomas Edward Carter on them. And your husband knew about this? He encouraged it, said I should be grateful for her help. Terence leaned back in his chair. Sophia, I need to ask you something difficult. Has there ever been any physical violence? No, they're too smart for that. It's all psychological. What about financial control? The house is in Tabitha's name. She gave it to us as a wedding gift, but she never transferred the deed. She has keys, comes and goes whenever she wants. Joint bank accounts? Were. Luna helped me separate them. Good. What about your support system, besides Luna? My parents live in Oregon. They don't really understand what's happening. They think I should try harder to get along with my in-laws. Anyone else? I hesitated. There's Stuart, Colby's older brother. Tell me about Stuart. He was supposed to be the golden child, but he had a falling out with Tabitha a few years ago. She cut him off completely. What kind of falling out? I don't know the details. Colby won't talk about it, but Stuart reached out to me after the party. I showed Terence the text. Saw the video. Good for you. We should talk. Have you responded? Not yet. I wasn't sure if I should. I think you should. Estranged family members often have valuable information. Luna looked up from her laptop. There's something else. I've been digging into Tabitha's past. She's done this before. What do you mean? Colby had a serious girlfriend in college, Sarah. They were together for 3 years, even talked about marriage. What happened to her? She got pregnant. Then suddenly she wasn't pregnant anymore, and she and Colby broke up. Terence leaned forward. Do you have proof of this? I found Sarah on Facebook. She's married now, lives in Denver. But she posted something interesting last year. Luna pulled up a screenshot. A blog post about surviving family pressure to terminate a wanted pregnancy. She doesn't name names, but the timeline matches perfectly with when she and Colby were together. I stared at the screen. Tabitha made her get an abortion? That's what it looks like. And if she did it once, she'll try to do it again, Terence finished. This is exactly the kind of pattern we need to establish. My phone buzzed. Stuart's name appeared on the screen. Answer it, Terence said. Put it on speaker. Sophia, it's Stuart. I know this is weird, but I saw what happened at the party. Are you okay? I'm managing. Luna said you might have information that could help. I have more than information. I have evidence. Can we meet? I looked at Terence, who nodded. Where? There's a coffee shop on 5th Street. Grind Coffee. Can you be there in an hour? I'll be there. Sophia, bring a lawyer if you have one. What I'm going to show you? It's going to change everything. The line went dead. Well, Terence said, closing his laptop. Looks like we're going to coffee. What do you think he has? With families like this? Could be anything. Financial records, recorded conversations, documentation of previous victims. He stood up. But whatever it is, it's going to help us build a case that ensures you keep your son. Luna grabbed her purse. And maybe finally take Tabitha down in the process. Is that what we're doing? Taking her down? Sophia, Terence said gently, she threatened to steal your child. She's been psychologically abusing you for months. She manipulated your husband into betraying you. He held the door open. Taking her down isn't revenge. It's justice. I thought about Julian, growing inside me, completely unaware of the war being fought over his future. Then let's go get justice. Stuart looked like Colby, but older and tired. He sat in the corner booth of Grind Coffee with a laptop bag and the kind of haunted expression that comes from family trauma. Thank you for coming, he said as we sat down. I wasn't sure you would. Luna said you have information about Tabitha. I have a lot more than that. He pulled out a USB drive. 5 years of recordings, texts, emails, everything she did to destroy my relationship with my family. Terrence leaned forward. What kind of recordings? Phone calls where she coached Colby on what to say in family therapy, videos of her manipulating situations to make me look unstable, financial records showing how she used money to control everyone. Why did you record all this? Stuart's laugh was bitter. Because I knew no one would believe me otherwise. Tabitha is very good at playing the victim. He plugged the USB into his laptop and opened a folder labeled Evidence. This is from 3 years ago. Family therapy session after I confronted her about Sarah. The audio was scratchy, but clear enough. Tabitha's voice. Stuart has always been jealous of Colby. He's trying to cause problems in our family because he can't accept that Colby is more successful than Colby. Mom's right. Stuart's been acting erratic lately. Maybe he needs professional help. I was sitting right there, Stuart said. They planned this conversation beforehand. I have the text messages to prove it. He showed us his phone. Messages between Tabitha and Colby from the night before the therapy session. Tabitha. Remember what we discussed. Stuart is trying to divide the family. You need to support me tomorrow. Colby. I will. He's always been the problem child anyway. Tabitha. Exactly. Dr. Martinez needs to see that you're the stable one. Jesus, Luna muttered. It gets worse. Stuart clicked on another file. This is about Sarah. A video opened. Tabitha sitting in what looked like a restaurant, talking to someone off camera. She's not right for our family, Tabitha was saying. Too common. And now this pregnancy situation? It's very convenient timing, don't you think? What do you mean? A woman's voice, probably Sarah. I mean, Colby has a bright future ahead of him. Law school, then the family business. A baby would derail all of that. We've talked about it. We want this baby. Do you, or do you want Colby's money? Tabitha's voice turned cold. Because I can make sure you get neither. The video cut off. She recorded this? Terrence asked. Sarah did. She was smart enough to know she needed proof. Stuart pulled up another file. This is the text thread between Tabitha and Sarah after that meeting. The messages were brutal. Tabitha systematically destroying Sarah's confidence, threatening to cut Colby off financially if he didn't come to his senses, promising to make Sarah's life hell if she didn't do the right thing. The right thing being terminate the pregnancy and disappear, which Sarah eventually did. She was 22, broke, and terrified. I felt sick. And Colby just let this happen? Colby doesn't know about most of this. Tabitha is very careful about what she shows him. He thinks Sarah left because she couldn't handle the pressure of being with a Carter. But you know the truth. Sarah sent me everything before she moved to Denver. She wanted someone in the family to know what really happened. Terrence was taking notes furiously. This establishes a clear pattern of manipulation and control. What else do you have? Financial records showing how she uses money to control family members. Recordings of her coaching Colby on how to handle difficult situations with women. And this. He opened a document folder. Inside were printed emails between Tabitha and someone named Dr. Harrison. Who's Dr. Harrison? A psychiatrist. Tabitha was trying to have me declared mentally incompetent so she could control my trust fund. The emails were chilling. Tabitha describing my erratic behavior, asking about involuntary commitment procedures, discussing how to protect the family from my instability. She tried to have you committed? She tried. Dr. Harrison refused to participate, but not before she got him to write a preliminary assessment based on her lies. This is insane, Luna said. This is Tabitha. She doesn't just win, she destroys. Stuart looked at me. She's going to try to do the same thing to you. What do you mean? The custody threat isn't just about the baby. She's going to try to prove you're an unfit mother. Postpartum depression, emotional instability, whatever she can manufacture. Terrence closed his laptop. Not if we get ahead of it first. What are you thinking? We go public, all of it. The recordings, the financial manipulation, the pattern of abuse. We control the narrative before she can. How? Stuart smiled for the first time since we'd sat down. I know someone at the local paper, investigative journalist who's been looking for a story about wealthy families abusing their power. You want to go to the press? I want to burn her world down, Stuart said, the same way she burned mine. Luna pulled out her phone. Remember that viral video from the party? It's been shared over 1,000 times now. People are already talking. About what? About entitled mother-in-laws, about women standing up for themselves, about toxic family dynamics. She scrolled through comments. Look at this. This is every woman's nightmare. Good for her for walking away. Someone needs to investigate this family. The court of public opinion is already on your side, Terrence said. We just need to give them the whole story. I thought about Julian, about the kind of world I wanted him to grow up in. One where bullies like Tabitha faced consequences, or one where they continued to destroy lives with impunity. Do it, I said. All of it. Let everyone see who she really is. Stuart plugged the USB into Terrence's laptop. This is going to get ugly. It's already ugly, I said. At least now it'll be honest. My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Saw your video. You're not alone. There are more of us. A friend. Then another. Tabitha ruined my sister's marriage too. I have proof. Then another. She destroyed my family's business. I've been waiting years for someone to stand up to her. Luna, I said, showing her the messages. Look at this. She read over my shoulder, her eyes widening. Sophia, you've started something. What do you mean? You didn't just walk away from one toxic family. You gave permission for everyone else to speak up too. Stuart was watching the messages pour in. She's made a lot of enemies over the years. And now they all have a reason to come forward, Terrence said. This isn't just about custody anymore. This is about justice. I looked around the coffee shop, at these people who were helping me fight back, at my phone filling with messages from strangers who'd been hurt by the same woman. Then let's give them justice. The Reddit post went live at 3 a.m. on a Tuesday. I couldn't sleep anyway, so I sat in my new apartment typing out everything under a throwaway account. My MIL tried to name my unborn baby and announce the gender at a party she threw without asking me. When I objected publicly, my husband threatened to take custody. Here's what happened next. I included everything. The envelope with the pre-chosen names. The party favors already printed. The public humiliation. Colby's threatening voicemails. I kept it anonymous but detailed enough that anyone who knew the Carters would recognize the story. By morning, it had 50,000 upvotes and 3,000 comments. By noon, it was trending on Twitter. By evening, Luna was banging on my door with her laptop and a bottle of wine. Sophia, you need to see this. She opened her computer to show me the local news website. The headline read, Viral Reddit post exposes alleged abuse by prominent local family. They picked up the story? It gets better. Look at the comments section. Dozens of people were sharing their own experiences with Tabitha. Former employees, business partners, other family members who'd been cut off. The pattern was always the same: control, manipulation, and destruction of anyone who didn't fall in line. This woman destroyed my catering business because I wouldn't give her a discount. One comment read. She spread rumors that we had health code violations. Completely false, but it ruined us. Another. She convinced my ex-husband to leave me during my cancer treatment. Said I was too much of a burden for a Carter family friend. I lost everything. Jesus, I whispered. There's more. Stuart's journalist friend called. She wants to do a full investigation, TV interview, the whole thing. My phone rang. Colby's name flashed on the screen. Answer it, Luna said. Record it. I hit speaker and started the voice memo app. Sophia, what the hell have you done? I told the truth. You've humiliated our entire family. That Reddit post is everywhere. Good. Maybe people should know what your family is really like. You're being vindictive and cruel. My mother is devastated. Your mother tried to steal my baby's identity before he was even born. She threatened to destroy me if I didn't comply. I'd say devastated is a good start. She was trying to help. She wanted to give our son a name with history. She wanted to erase me. And you helped her. Silence. Then, I'm coming over. We need to talk. No, you're not. I have a restraining order being filed tomorrow. You can't be serious. Dead serious. Your threatening voicemails were very helpful with that. Sophia, please. Let's work this out. Come home. I am home. This is my home now. My name is on the lease, not your mother's. What about our marriage? What about it? You chose your side at that party. Actually, you chose your side months ago. I love you. No, you don't. You love the idea of me. The quiet, compliant wife who does what she's told and produces heirs for the Carter legacy. That woman never existed. The baby needs his father. The baby needs a father who will protect him from toxic people. You've proven you're not that person. I hung up and turned to Luna. How was that? Perfect. Calm, clear, and completely damning. She saved the recording. Terrence is going to love this. My phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. This is Tabitha. We need to talk. Meet me at Grind Coffee tomorrow at 2 p.m. Come alone. Luna read it over my shoulder. Absolutely not. Actually, yes, but not alone. I forwarded the message to Terrence. If she wants to talk, let's give her the chance to dig her own grave. The next day, I arrived at Grind Coffee at 1:45. Terrence was already there, sitting at a corner table with his laptop open. Luna was at the counter, pretending to read a magazine. Tabitha walked in at exactly 2 p.m., looking like she'd aged 5 years in a week. Her usually perfect hair was slightly disheveled. Her makeup couldn't quite hide the dark circles under her eyes. She sat across from me without ordering anything. You look terrible, I said. You've destroyed everything I've worked for. I've exposed everything you've worked for. There's a difference. That Reddit post, the news coverage, the investigation, it's all lies. Is it? Because I have recordings that say otherwise. Her composure cracked slightly. What recordings? Your conversation with Sarah. Your emails about having Stuart committed. Your coaching sessions with Colby. I leaned forward. Did you really think no one was paying attention? Stuart gave you those. Stuart gave me evidence of a pattern of abuse that goes back years. You've been destroying people who don't submit to your control. I protect my family. You control your family. There's a difference. She pulled out her phone and set it on the table. I'm recording this conversation. Good. So am I. I showed her my phone. Let's make sure we both get the truth. What do you want? I want you to leave me alone. Leave my baby alone. Stop trying to control our lives. He's a Carter. He belongs with his family. He's a Weber. That's the name on his birth certificate. Her face went white. You can't do that. I already did. Julian Ezra Weber. Born 3 days ago. The lie came out so smoothly, I almost believed it myself, but I needed to see her reaction, needed to understand how far she'd go. That's impossible. You're not due for another month. Premature labor, stress-induced. I wonder what could have caused that. She stood up abruptly. I want to see him. No. I have rights as his grandmother. You have no rights. I've filed a cease and desist order. You're not allowed within 500 feet of me or my child. This is insane. You can't keep a child from his family. I can keep him from toxic people who tried to own him before he was born. She leaned across the table, her voice dropping to a whisper. You think you've won? You think this little tantrum of yours changes anything? I think I've protected my son from becoming another victim of your need for control. You have no idea what you've started. The Carters have power in this town, connections, money. I will destroy you. There it is, I smiled. The real Tabitha, not the grieving widow or the concerned grandmother, just a bully who can't stand losing control. She realized what she'd said, how it sounded on the recording. Her face went from white to red. "You manipulative little—" "Careful, we're still recording." She grabbed her purse and stood up. "This isn't over." "Yes, it is. You just don't know it yet." She stormed out, leaving the coffee shop in stunned silence. Terrence appeared at my table. "Please tell me you got all of that." I held up my phone. Every word. The threat at the end, the admission of using power and connections to destroy people. This is exactly what we needed. Luna sat down next to me. "You lied about having the baby." I needed to see how she'd react. Now we know she'll never stop trying to control him. So what's next? I looked at the recording on my phone, at Tabitha's final threat, at the evidence that would finally hold her accountable. Now we end this. 9 months later, I was holding my son when the story broke. Julian Ezra Weber had arrived at 6:47 a.m. on a Tuesday, screaming and perfect and completely mine. I'd been in labor for 14 hours, with Luna holding one hand and my mom holding the other. No Carters in sight. I was exhausted, euphoric, and scrolling through my phone when I saw the headline, "Local socialite under investigation for pattern of abuse and financial manipulation." "Luna, look at this." She read over my shoulder while Julian slept in my arms. Holy shit, they actually did it. The article was devastating. Stewart's recordings, the financial records, testimonies from a dozen victims spanning 20 years. The journalist had done her homework. "Listen to this," Luna read aloud. "Multiple sources confirm that Tabitha Carter used her wealth and social connections to systematically destroy anyone who challenged her authority, including family members, business partners, and romantic partners of her sons." My phone buzzed. A text from Stewart. "Turn on Channel 7, now." I fumbled for the remote. The local news was running a segment called "The Carter Files, A Family's Dark Secrets Exposed." The anchor's voice was serious. "Tonight, we continue our investigation into allegations against prominent socialite Tabitha Carter. We've obtained exclusive recordings that appear to show a pattern of psychological manipulation and abuse." They played the audio of Tabitha threatening Sarah, her voice cold and calculating as she described how she'd destroy a pregnant 22-year-old's life. "Jesus," my mom whispered from the corner chair. "That woman is evil." The segment continued with interviews. Sarah, now 30 and living in Denver, spoke calmly about her experience. "She made me believe I was worthless," Sarah said. "That I was trying to trap her son, that I'd ruin his life. I was young and scared, and she used that against me." Then Stewart appeared on screen looking tired but determined. "My mother doesn't love her family," he said. "She collects us. We're trophies, extensions of her ego, and if we don't perform the way she wants, she discards us." The reporter asked, "What finally made you come forward?" "Watching her do to Sophia what she did to Sarah, what she did to me. I couldn't let another person be destroyed by her need for control." My phone started ringing. Reporters, probably. I turned it off. "This is insane," my mom said. "How did you live with this for so long?" "I didn't know how bad it was until I got out," I said, adjusting Julian in my arms. "When you're in it, you think it's normal. You think you're the problem." Luna's phone buzzed. "It's Terrence. He says the DA's office is reviewing the financial evidence. Possible charges for elder abuse, fraud, and harassment." Elder abuse? Apparently, she's been stealing from some of the older members of the country club, convincing them to invest in fake charities she controls. The news segment ended with a statement from the Carter family lawyer. Mrs. Carter categorically denies all allegations and looks forward to clearing her name in court. I laughed, startling Julian. "She's still trying to control the narrative." "Not anymore," Luna said. "Look at this." She showed me her phone. The original Reddit post had been updated with a link to the news story. The comments were brutal. "I knew this family was toxic," one read. "Good for this woman for exposing them. This is why we need to believe women when they tell us about abuse," said another. "Update us when the baby is born. We're all rooting for you." I looked down at Julian, his tiny fist wrapped around my finger. "What do you think, baby?" Ready to meet the internet? I opened Instagram and posted a photo of his little hand in mine. The caption read, Julian Ezra Weber, born today at 6:47 a.m. 7 lbs, 3 O's of pure perfection. Thank you to everyone who supported us through this journey. Sometimes the family you choose is stronger than the one you're born into. Julian Ezra Weber. New beginnings. Choosing better. Within minutes, the comments started pouring in. Hundreds of strangers celebrating my son's birth, sharing their own stories of toxic families, offering support and encouragement. You did it, one comment read. You protected your baby and yourself. You're a hero. This little boy is so lucky to have a mother who fought for him before he was even born. The name Julian Ezra is beautiful, so much better than whatever they wanted to call him. Luna was reading over my shoulder. You've started a movement. What do you mean? Look at the hashtags. Choosing better is trending. Women are sharing stories about leaving toxic families, standing up to controlling in-laws, protecting their children from generational trauma. My phone rang. Colby's name appeared on the screen. Answer it, Luna said. Let's hear what he has to say now. I put it on speaker. Sophia, I saw the news. And? I didn't know. About Sarah. About what my mother did to Stuart. I swear I didn't know. You didn't want to know. There's a difference. I'm sorry. I'm so fucking sorry. I should have protected you. Yes, you should have. But you chose her instead. I was wrong. I was so wrong. Can I see him? The baby? I looked at Julian, sleeping peacefully in my arms. His name is Julian Ezra Weber. I know. I saw the post. It's a good name. I know it is. I chose it. Sophia, please. I want to be his father. I want to do better. Then do better. Get therapy. Set boundaries with your mother. Prove that you can put your son's well-being before her feelings. I will. I promise. Promises are easy, Colby. Actions are harder. What do I need to do? I looked at Luna, who nodded encouragingly. You need to publicly support the investigation. You need to testify about what you witnessed. You need to choose your son over your mother. Silence. Then. She's still my mother. And Julian is still your son. But only one of them is innocent. I need time to think. You've had 9 months to think. Julian doesn't have time for you to figure out where your loyalties lie. I hung up and turned to Luna. Think he'll do it? Honestly? No, he's too scared of her. Then Julian's better off without him. My mom came over and kissed my forehead. You did good, sweetheart. You protected your baby. I looked at the news still playing on TV, at the comments still pouring in on my phone, at my son sleeping peacefully in my arms. Yeah, I said. I did. The letter arrived on Julian's first birthday. Luna found it slipped under my apartment door while I was getting ready for his party. It's from Colby, she said, holding the envelope like it might explode. Burn it. Sophia, look at the address. It's not addressed to you. I took the envelope, written in Colby's careful handwriting, to Julian Ezra Weber. He wrote a letter to a 1-year-old? Apparently. Julian was in his high chair, smearing birthday cake on his face and giggling. He had my dark hair and Colby's green eyes, but his smile was entirely his own. Should I read it? Your call. But maybe wait until after the party. The party was perfect. Small, intimate, filled with people who actually loved us. My parents had flown in from Oregon. Stuart brought his new girlfriend. Terrence came with his kids. Even Sarah had sent a gift from Denver with a note. For the little boy who helped us all find our voices. No Carters in sight. As everyone was leaving, Julian fell asleep in my arms. Luna started cleaning up while I sat on the couch, staring at the letter. You're going to read it eventually, she said, tying up a garbage bag. I know. Want me to read it first? Screen it for bullshit? No. I need to hear what he has to say. I opened the envelope carefully. Inside was a single sheet of paper covered in Colby's handwriting. "Dear Julian," I read aloud, "today you turned 1 year old, and I wasn't there. I should have been there. I should have been there for a lot of things." Luna stopped cleaning and sat down next to me. "I want you to know that your mother is the strongest person I've ever met. She protected you from things you'll never have to understand because she was brave enough to walk away from people who would have hurt you." "Huh," Luna said. "That's not what I expected." "I failed you both. I chose my mother's approval over your safety, and I will regret that for the rest of my life. Your mother tried to tell me what was happening, and I didn't listen. I called her dramatic, oversensitive, ungrateful. I was wrong about everything." My hands were shaking slightly. Julian stirred in my arms but didn't wake up. "The investigation is over. My mother pled guilty to fraud and harassment. She's facing 2 years in prison and has to pay restitution to everyone she hurt. The house is being sold to cover the damages. I'm testifying at her sentencing next month." "Holy shit," Luna whispered. "She actually went to prison?" "I'm in therapy now. Real therapy, not the fake sessions where she coached me on what to say. I'm learning about boundaries, about how families are supposed to work, about the difference between love and control. I don't know if your mother will ever forgive me. I don't know if I deserve forgiveness. But I want you to know that I'm trying to become the kind of man who could be your father. Not because I have rights or because you're a Carter, but because you deserve better than what I gave you." I wiped my eyes with the back of my hand. "I've started a college fund for you. I'm putting money in it every month, no strings attached. Your mother has complete control over it. I'm also donating to the domestic violence shelter in your name, because your mother's story helped other women find the courage to leave." "That's actually really good," Luna said. "I don't expect anything from you or your mother. I just wanted you to know that you have a father who is learning to do better. Maybe someday, when you're older, we can meet. But only if your mother thinks it's safe, and only if you want to. Happy birthday, Julian. You're lucky to have the mother you have. Love, Dad." I folded the letter and set it on the coffee table. "So?" Luna asked. "What do you think?" "I think he's finally growing up. About 2 years too late, but still. Are you going to respond?" "Maybe. Not today, but maybe." Julian woke up and looked at me with those green eyes, babbling something that sounded like "Mama." "What do you think, baby? Should we give your dad a chance to prove he's changed?" He grabbed my finger and squeezed, which I decided to take as a maybe. Luna opened a bottle of wine and poured 2 glasses. "To Julian's first birthday. And to his badass mother who made sure he'd grow up free. To choosing better," I said, raising my glass. "To choosing better." We clinked glasses as Julian played with his toys, completely oblivious to the war that had been fought over his future. My phone buzzed with a notification. Someone had tagged me in a post. 1 year ago, this woman walked away from a toxic family and saved her unborn son. Today, that little boy is celebrating his first birthday surrounded by people who actually love him. This is what choosing better looks like. The post had been shared thousands of times, with comments from women all over the world sharing their own stories of breaking cycles, setting boundaries, and protecting their children from generational trauma. "Look at this," I showed Luna the screen. "You started something bigger than you realized." "I just wanted to protect Julian. And in doing that, you gave other women permission to protect their kids, too." I looked at my son, playing happily on the floor, completely unaware that he'd become a symbol of hope for strangers across the internet. Think he'll understand someday? Why I did what I did? He'll understand that his mother loved him enough to fight for him before he could fight for himself. That's all any kid needs to know. Julian looked up at me and smiled, cake still smeared on his cheek. "Tell me we made her shiver," I said, echoing the words Luna had said that first night. "Sophia, we didn't just make her shiver, we made her fall." I picked up Julian and held him close, breathing in that perfect baby smell. They thought I was just the carrier of their legacy, the quiet wife who would produce their heir and fade into the background. They thought I was weak, controllable, disposable. Turns out, I was the end of their legacy and the beginning of something better. Julian babbled against my shoulder and I whispered back, "You're free, baby. You're completely free." And for the first time in 2 years, so was I.